Yes, I think that Fulton and Inoue, I think this is the biggest test. It's the biggest test of both of their careers, but it might be more of a surprise for people to hear that Fulton is bigger test for Inoue, given the caliber of opposition that Inoue has been in with. Denier, for example, was a great fight for him. He blasted through Emmanuel Rodriguez in no time whatsoever. Rodriguez at the time was a world title holder. I think Fulton, because of his size, because of his ring IQ, the skill level is beyond reproach here. He's got strong physical advantages over Inoue. I think he's going to give him an absolute nightmare. Now, giving Inoue a nightmare and beating him on Japanese soil are two different things. We'll need to see how Fulton travels. And at the end of the day, the guy that we're talking about, Inoue, has got everything. He's the perfect blend of speed, power, and technique. He's carried his punch up through the weights already, and I've got no reason to believe that he can't put a serious dent in Fulton if he lands correctly. I just think that he will be made to graft for it this time. I think he'll break through. I think a knockdown or two might get him over the line on points, but I foresee a very, very close fight between Fulton and Inoue. But I think because they're in Japan, I think the fight will be close enough to where Inoue will get it. It wouldn't surprise me if it was controversial.
Great fight, this one. But I'm going to favour Inoue, not because I'm getting on the Inoue bandwagon, but he certainly just seems to be getting better and better ever since he's moved up to the super bantam. Certainly, without a doubt, is that power has been certainly been translated without a doubt. Sometimes people move up in weight and absolutely nothing happens. You could tell the difference there in the extra £4. Fulton, good fighter. But my only fear is he really hasn't got the pedigree in terms of the resume. So I'd probably say one of his better sort of wins was against Brandon Figueroa, who at the time was undefeated, only had one draw to his name, and that was a majority decision win. And Figueroa is nowhere near in the leagues of Inoue. The Daniel Roman win was also good, but. And it was one-sided without a doubt. But again, if you look at Inoue, who he's been in with, and you just sort of check out his last few fights, Butler maybe not so much, but then Nonito Donaire fights plural were fantastic. Jason Maloney, good fighter, stopped him in 7 though. As you well know yourself, James. You got a good relationship with Maloney, good fighter. So I'm going to go with Inoue, and I'm going to go. Well, it's going to be one or two things. I'd probably lean more towards a late stoppage with Inoue, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Fulton is able to hang in there for the distance, because he can sort of skive and survive if he needs to. But I doubt very much that Fulton is going to have a knockout. If someone wanted to have a cheeky bet for £1 and say Fulton to win by stoppage, it'd be worth it, because I guarantee you're going to get bloody good odds for that.
Kind of the boxing buffs or whatever obviously love this fight. I think you can do it a little bit of a disservice when you break it down too much, because both men are a lot more than just a singular style. I know people will probably go Inoue puncher, Fulton back foot a bit slicker, perhaps defensively more sound, but neither of them are one-dimensional, so it can be a difficult fight in that sense to break down. I've noticed one thing with Fulton, though. He's very awkward at certain points, like perhaps whether it's in the pocket or on the ropes. He kind of goes, I don't know I can't work out if it's flat-footedness or it's a head movement thing. He just kind of goes static and awkward. And if you give Inoue that little bit of time, he's going to put a dent in you. I have to pick Inoue. Obviously, he's been dispatching people seriously for a long time. The size thing's interesting. I was looking back actually before this at their weights this morning, looking at their weights and kind of the heights of people they fought. When Fulton had the fight with Figueroa and it was close, Figueroa is the taller guy. Look how he dealt with someone like Daniel Roman, who's the smaller guy. I'm not saying he's going to deal with Inoue like that, but he can be more active with the jab. So there is a way I see that Fulton can win the fight. I just think the second Inoue gets close, mate, he's going to feast on that body. He's going to feast on that body. And yeah, I can't see anything else other than him. I'm not saying taking Fulton out. He's a live guy in the fight, but I just think Inoue is going to win, and I think he will do it inside the distance as well. Yeah.
It's a dream fight, isn't it? If you're a boxing purist, if you're a big fan, these are the kind of fights that we love to tune in and watch, even if it is 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning or a Wednesday morning, whenever it is. I think you have to admire Naoya Inoue stepping up straight away, just looking for the biggest guy in the playground and kind of calling him out. Stephen Fulton is obviously a magnificent boxer, technical, very fleet-footed. It's going to be interesting to see how Inoue copes. I think it's probably fair to say the last couple of times he's been out. Well, against Paul Butler, you know, he drew some criticism. He wasn't able to get Butler out of there until later on in the fight when he started to really take over and dominate. It'll be interesting to see what he looks like. Fourth weight class, he's attempting to capture a world title, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be interesting to see if he can hunt down Fulton the same way that he's hunted down these guys as he's moved up through the weights. I think Fulton is probably rightly an outsider, just given the body of work that Inoue's put together. But I'll probably pick the outsider here. I think Fulton looks really comfortable with the weight. He's at home in that weight division. And I think it might just be a step too far for Naoya Inoue if he approaches the fight the same way that we're used to seeing him do, which is to hunt and to relentlessly try and trap his prey against the ropes. I don't think he'll be able to do that.